narrow bolster intended to support the skull, the neck, and the length of the back, with the exception of the tailbone. So just letting someone else in. So as you prepare to lie down over your bolster, pull it up close to your sacrum and let the whole length of the spine come down onto the bolster. And if your head is hanging off of the bolster, grab another blanket or some kind of pillow so the head and neck also rest neutral. And once you're lying down, just give yourself a moment to acclimate, to just become alert to the transition as you move from seated or standing to supine. This shift can often affect our respiratory rhythms, the depth of the breath, the internal feel of our energy. Maybe it sighs as you drop down. Allowing the jaw to slacken. All expression softening away from the face. And you're just landing. Invite in an image of landing, maybe a leaf falling to the ground from a tree, snowflake blending with the warm earth, a raindrop landing. So you're inviting yourself to land. And imagery can be a beautiful tool for cultivating an internal experience. So best to choose images that speak to your heart. So we land and we begin to notice the rise and fall of breath. The play of sensation within the body. If there's a sigh waiting to be released, let it go with the exhale. Just land right smack at the beginning or the middle of your morning, wherever you are. And give yourself that inner message that it's okay to just stop, to just open into a pure moment of beingness, a moment of non-doing, a moment free of expectations, a moment free of worry, a moment to open into the soft place within the heart. Deep inhale, everyone. Exhale, let it go with a big sigh. Back of body in contact with blanket and mat. Back body releasing. Front body also releasing. And we sensitize to the wave of breath. Notice how you experience that wave this morning. Is it isolated in one region of the body? Does it rise and fall throughout the whole body? What do you notice? What do you notice? And whenever possible, breath moving in and out of nose. And bringing a bit more focus to the exhale specifically focus on the exhaling breath. What is your experience of the exhale? Can you discover the relaxing quality of the exhale? And as you stay focused and connected on the exhale, start to slow that exhale down. If it does not feel possible to slow it down through the nose, begin to blow that exhale out very slowly through the mouth. And all disruptive thought, all interruptions in the background, stay in the background. Some might find it helpful to make the breath slightly audible here. And we watch and feel the inhale arise. And we take gentle hold of the exhale, just pulling in the reins ever so slightly as we slow down the pace of the exhaling breath. We slip behind as often, as many times as we need to. It's like a child willing to play hide and seek over and over and over again. We come to slip behind the thoughts, not to hide, but to simply notice there's something else going on other than these thoughts. So we slip behind. And we try to discover that place of simple, pure, unadulterated awareness. It's just a noticing without commentary. You let the inner narrator kind of just come to rest, like you were releasing the strings of a marionette puppet. And that inner narrator just lays at rest, becomes still and quiet as you just notice. Notice the ease or challenge of releasing that inner narrative, the inner narrator. And don't judge it, because that is what your experience is right now, the experience of being challenged to quiet things down. And to note that capacity to notice that you're having difficulty quieting down, that is awareness. It is awareness noticing that. Deep, comfortable, full inhale. Long, slow exhale. Just stay here a little longer. And we notice if that little longer is welcome or resisted, because again, too, that is what's part of the truth of the moment. Welcoming and resistance, equally valid experiences. We might have preference for one, but it doesn't invalidate the other. So we notice. We notice what is. It takes a bit of trust. To allow yourself to just stay with what is. You're so conditioned to try to fix things, change things, that often our first relationship with the moment is to somehow change it, to somehow make it different. But here in yoga and meditation and mindfulness, we witness. Let's stay here 3 more breaths. And when you're done, to please first roll a little to the side, remove the prop from beneath you, remove the prop from the mat. And then land back on your spine with knees bent, feet on the floor. And again, just stop for a moment's integration, a moment of transition before going from our centering to our movement. And with knees bent and feet on the floor, use the exhale to draw the navel toward the spine, flattening lower back into the earth. And on the inhale, you relax the belly and you let the spine arch as much as feels comfortable and safe. Stay with the sensation of the movement as I share a brief reading from Jon Kabat-Zinn's Wherever You Go, There You Are. Perhaps we could experiment with trusting the present moment, accepting whatever we feel or think or see in this moment, because this is what is present now. If we can take a stand here and let go into the full texture of now, we may find that this very moment is worthy of our trust. From such experiments conducted over and over again, we may come to a new sense that somewhere deep within us resides a profoundly healthy and trustworthy core, and that our intuitions, as deep resonances of the actuality of the present moment, are worthy of our trust, that our deep intuitions are worthy of our trust. Next time that you exhale, lower back into ground, pause there. And keeping the lower back firm to the floor, bring right knee in toward chest, interlace hands around the shin. Try relaxing the right ankle and foot as you pull the knee in. And as you inhale, see if you can direct breath down into the belly. And let the belly empty on exhale. And now begin to circle the right knee. So you might choose to keep both hands on that leg. You might release one hand. You might invite the knee to go out wide as it goes out to the right. So just see what feels right. Maybe the body says start small and warm up into a larger movement. Or maybe this isn't an area of tightness for you and you can start big. And wherever you find yourself in these circles, begin to make them smaller, like you were circling in toward the center of a spiral. So eventually these circles become super small, and you're sensing the head or the top of your femur mobilizing within the hip joint. And begin to make those circles so small that you can barely tell that you're moving. And then that tiny movement stops. And once you've stopped, place your right hand outside of the right leg and begin to press the right leg into the right hand. The knee is still bent, and you're slowly pressing open, slowly pressing the hand toward the floor. And you go as wide as you can, and the leg continues to sink in the hand continues to sink into the leg. So the hand is supporting the leg. And we're grounding through the left side. So sink that left sacrum, left buttock to the floor. And only if you find this appealing would you flex the right foot and try to hold with the right leg straight. So you might not opt to do that. So you find where the body is, you come into trust of that intuition, that inner knowing. And always remembering, if we make a less helpful choice, we can always back off. We can always change our minds. So if the leg is straight, please press through the heel. Let the muscles of that leg super engage. If the knee is bent, just provide that active pressure of thigh pressing into hand, hand pressing into thigh. See if you can hold 3 more breaths. If it's too much, let go. Honor what's right. Wise choice. And when you're done, if the leg is straight, first bend the leg. And then slowly point the knee to the sky. And all of us can interlace the hands behind the thigh again. Flex the foot and press the right heel to the sky. So leg goes up like a flagpole, and you hold that position and you continue to press the heel to the sky. And long full breaths for 4 more. Take your time with it and stay 3. Give it 2 more breaths. When done, to bend the knee, bring the right foot to the ground, draw both arms down alongside your body, and I'm going to ask you to experiment with something. I want you to stay in the right leg and foot, and I want you to use the right foot mostly to press into bridge. So you're sinking into the right foot, left leg's there for support, but you're sinking into right leg, rising into bridge. Round the shoulders once you get to bridge. Keep the weight in the right foot. See if you can lift the left foot without any insecurity in the pelvis or the lower back. So don't let the left hip drop. And then lower the left foot down. Press into both feet equally, reach through the knees, rise higher up onto the shoulders, grounding those upper arms. Give it just 2 more breaths here. And when you're done, lay it down slowly. Feel the spine as it comes down. When down, inhale, pelvic tilt, arch the back, lower back rises away from the ground. Exhale, navel to spine, lower back flattens. 1 more pelvic tilt, inhale, arch. Exhale, flatten. Keep the flatness and bring left knee into chest. Hands come around the knee. First, we just hug it in, finding that comfortable maximum range of motion. And back to that sense of being present, trusting what's arising, trusting that you'll make right choice with each movement. So here we'll begin to circle that left knee. So again, you first just start out, what does this hip want? It might not want the same as the other. My hip wants to start slower on the left side, smaller on the left side. So just see, you can slowly progress for the largest circle available. And once you find that large circle, reverse. And now it's like you're circling in toward the center of a spiral. So every circle is successively smaller. And maybe even slower. And we're feeling what's arising in that hip joint. What a gift it is for your body that you're doing this movement. And then the circles get smaller and smaller. Eventually so small that you can hardly notice that you're circling. And when these circles have become very small, you drop into stillness. Take the left hand to the outer side of the left leg, and we're pressing leg into hand, hand into leg. And we begin to push the hand toward the floor. And we open as wide as we can without lifting that right buttock hip. And the hand presses into leg, leg presses into hand. And notice how the pressing engages the muscles. And if you're not sure you feel that, relax the muscles and then press and see how that changes. And some of you might choose now to straighten the leg. And if you're working with the straight leg, please press through the heel. And we stay connected to the moment through the breath. I am here now. And if mind is really busy, you might practice saying, I am here on inhale and now on the exhale. So you integrate a little mantra, a repetition to hold your attention. Nice full breaths. Coming into the body. 2 more breaths here. When done, if the leg is straight, first bend, and we can all point the knee to the sky as ready. Keep left knee in, bring right knee in. Hook both hands behind the knees. Flex both feet, both heels to sky, balancing out through a symmetrical pose. Sacrum sinking down, heels pressing up. And nice full breaths. And we're going to catch the bridge on the other side here. So what we're going to do is first bend the knees, 1 foot at a time to the ground. And you're going to release the arms to your side, drop the shoulders down, arms sinking down as well. And place your weight into the left leg as you rise up into bridge. Keep the pelvis level And then if you feel stable enough, try floating that right foot off the floor. Don't let the right hip rise or drop. Short hold, another breath. And then take the leg down, bring the spine down. And once the spine is down, widen the feet out toward the edges of your mat for some knee drops. So on the exhaling breath, knees go right. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, knees to the opposite side. And just slowly follow the breath in and out. Observing the movement at the head of the femur and the hip joint. And don't miss the delicious massage you're offering to your back as the knees sway side to side. I'm going to add short holds. So the next time, knees lie over to the right, hold there. And you might even choose to turn the head gently left, staying in a comfort zone. And the weight of the legs sink. And we're just passive. We're not trying to make anything happen. And we notice how we're beginning here to open the side body. And we'll continue with the side body in a few moments. And then let the knees rise up before laying them to the opposite side and hold. Maybe head turns right. And we note what we feel here. Now, if you find that this position creates compression or discomfort in your lower back, in your sacroiliac joint, lift the knees some and tuck a cushion between them or beneath them to minimize any distress in the lower back. And hang on to it another breath. When done, raise the knees to the sky, heel toe the feet back to hip width. And again, bring one knee to chest and then the other. Hug the knees in nice and close. And we'll continue lying on our side. So as you're ready, spinning toward the camera either side. And before doing anything, align the spine so that the buttocks, shoulder blades, and back of head are resting against an imaginary wall. Then bring the knees up to hip level, ankles move out to rest below or slightly behind the knees. And we're going to take the top arm up and wrap it around the head. Imagine that your thighs are tied together. Knees and thighs stay connected. We move on exhale. So on exhale, raise the top foot and the head. And on the inhale, release both down. And on the exhale, top foot and head. Inhale, release down. Go 3 more times, your pace. And see if you can sustain a soft internal focus, even as movement becomes more active. When you're done, lay the head down, bring the hand in front of the chest. It's a similar movement. We keep the thighs and knees together, but we also glue the feet together. And on the inhale, we lift both feet at the same time. So keep the feet together. That's it. Exhale down the thigh. The bottom thigh stays on the floor. Let's move on. Exhale, exhale, raise both feet. Inhale, lower down. Feel the contraction in the trunk. Exhale, raise the feet. Inhale, lower. 2 more times. And just be alert to how this feels. Do you feel strong? Do you feel weak in this movement? And no judgment, just noticing. And then when you're done, I'm going to ask you to straighten, actually, let's straighten both legs for now. Adjust so you feel fairly well balanced on your side. And for this movement, I'm going to ask you to prop up your head. So you're using your hand, the lower arm, bend that arm and prop your head up. And now bring your knee in toward the chest. Take the top hand behind the leg. And we're going to straighten the leg. Now you could do this with a strap, but you don't really need the strap. We're going to have that hand, the top hand behind the calf, push up through the heel and use the hand to draw the leg in a little bit. It's not forceful. We're not trying to do a split or bring our knee to our nose. Just support the leg in a nice stretch. For 3 more, it's called the infinity pose. Those who have long enough limbs and want to try holding the big toe here can do that. That's the more classical position. 2 more breaths. When you're done, I'm going to ask you to keep your leg up, but release the hand down. Press through the heel and take your thigh, find your thigh, rotate it forward. Like you're rolling the thigh bone in the hip joint, rolling it toward the midline of the body, and keep rolling that thigh in as you slowly take a straight leg down. So this is very deep hip work. And you're rolling in as if you were trying to touch the toes of that leg to the floor. When the toes finally land, let the legs completely relax. Take a breath here. And then I'm going to ask you to come onto your belly right into Sphinx pose. So the forearms are on the floor, elbows back up toward the waist, fingers spread wide. And this morning we're going to separate the feet a little wider than hip width and really adjust the pubic bone, the pelvis, so it's resting relatively comfortable. We want to avoid hanging the head. And we also want to avoid compressing the back of the neck. So I want you to find a place for your head where the neck feels long, neutral, and open. Soften the jaw, soften the belly. And if a longer hold in Sphinx feels too much, you would widen your elbows and get the rib cage closer to the floor, adjusting the arms where you need that support. Don't over compress. Find that balance for 4 breaths. Keep releasing through the hips and pelvis for 3. Stay with your Sphinx, 2 more breaths. And when you're done, widen the elbows, lower the rib cage slowly down, neck down, head down, arms shift to the side body, and just take a moment to let go. Deep inhale, sigh on your exhale. 2 more resting breaths here. And then we'll repeat side lying to the opposite side. So adjust on your mat as you need to. Align buttocks, shoulder blades, and back of head to imaginary wall. Knees come up to hip level, ankles below or slightly behind knees. And to start, we have the top arm looping around the head. Thighs and knees stay together. And as you exhale, raise the head and the top foot. And on inhale, lay it down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 3 more times. When done, you can release the top arm into floor. This is where we experiment with lifting both feet together, so thighs stay together on the floor. And on exhale, raise both feet. Inhale, lower both feet. Exhale, both feet lift together. Inhale, lower. And 3 more times, paying attention to what's allowing the body to move. What's triggering this movement? You think it and it happens. It's quite miraculous. When you're done with these movements, lay the leg down. And here we'll bring the body into a nice straight line for our infinity pose. Once you're in a straight line, prop the head up. If you feel especially wobbly here, bend the bottom leg a little bit, so it kind of becomes more like a kickstand instead of being straight, and that will help you. And then take the top knee, bring it in toward the chest, take your hand behind and underneath the leg, straighten it out, push through the heel, and as you exhale, draw the leg in toward you. And again, if you have an easy reach at your big toe, that's also an option. Keep pressing through the heel. Holding the toe does not change the quality of the pose. Stay 3. It changes the aesthetic. Give it 2 more breaths. When you're done, leg stays in sky, hand releases to the mat. And we internally rotate. We spin the thigh bone in toward the midline of the body. We turn the toes as if we're trying to point them to the ground. And we keep spinning that femur. We keep turning it out as the leg comes down slowly. When the foot finally grounds or the toe, let the leg completely relax. Pause a moment and feel. And then we'll use the belly down position to slowly make a transition to table. So I'm going to ask you to return to your Sphinx. From Sphinx, draw the sternum away from the navel so there's good engagement in the front and back of the trunk. Glide the hands back beneath the shoulders, press through an up dog. And then on an exhale, tailbone to heels. Child pose, find to separate the knees wide if that's your preference, but find child and hold in child. Count your breaths in child. Hang on, 3 more breaths. And hang on 2. Let's do a kneeling salute. So when you're done, on the inhale, lengthen and rise onto the shins, bringing both arms overhead. And as you exhale, firm the tummy, hinge from the hips, bring your hands to the floor. Inhale, rise to table pose. And on your exhale, bent knee down dog. We'll get to the full. Inhale, land knees on mat. Exhale, head first to child, bend elbows, forehead toward floor, buttocks toward heels, arms moving to the side of the body. And let's repeat. Inhale, arms sweep up, rise to kneeling. Firm your belly, exhale, hinge from hips, fold forward. On your in-breath, table pose. And exhale, start with bent knee down dog, draw the tail back. Keep right knee bent, lower left heel and hold. Feel. And then reverse, then left knee, lower right heel down. Hold and breathe and feel. And then rising onto all 10 toes. And then reaching back with both heels for 4 breaths. And if that's too long, meet me in ragdoll. 3 more. Counting your breaths. When your breaths are done, feet move toward hands, ragdoll position. Knees bent, spine long or relaxed. Stay 3 breaths. And 2. When done, please bend the knees, arms like wings. Inhale, rise up, adding a little back bend on the top. And on exhale, bring it down, hands to heart, Samasthiti. Pause a moment. Feel the beat of the heart. And sense the rise and fall of the breath. Here we'll step up toward the front edge of the mat, feet hip width and parallel. Please take a large step back with the right foot, adjusting the feet so we maintain them a minimum of hip width apart. Bending the arms so we are holding W position. And as you inhale into warrior 1 pose, knee over ankle, draw the arms back and displace the chest slightly forward. And exhale, straighten the leg, release the arms. Inhale, knee bends, arms draw into W, arms go back, chest a little forward of the hips. Exhale, release, that's 2. Try 3 more. Let the breath lead. Stay as present with the movement, the breath, the moment, the best you are able. Last time in the warrior hold. Stay anchored through the back foot. Draw leg muscles to bone. And as the arms come back, chest is displaced slightly forward of the hips. And we stay for 4 more. And stay 3. 2 more breaths. When done, inhale, straight legs, arms release, hands to hips. Left hand nudging the left hip back. Draw the leg muscles to bone and exhale, move toward a half fold. Some might move beyond the half fold. Wherever you go, do it slowly. Find the best expression for your body and let the body relax into it instead of pushing into it. Instead of tearing tissue, we take time for the tissue to warm, to melt, and we relax into it for 3 more breaths. And stay 2. Let the front knee bend a little, press into the feet, lengthen when ready, and rise all the way up. Once up, the front knee bends again as we step forward. Once forward, march in place a little. And let's do a half salute between sides. So hands to heart, palms together, pause. Find a drishti. Gather full attention inward. And when ready, arms go up on inhale. Knees bend, swan dive on exhale. Halfway up on inhale. Bend knees and soften on exhale. Grounded as you sweep up, stretch tall, reach up, look up. Palms together, hands to heart. Samasthiti. Hello moment. I am here now. Arms release to the side body, reestablishing hip width. And this time, stepping the left foot back, adjusting for stability. Arms move to W. There's no rush. On the in-breath, arms draw back, knee goes over ankle, chest slightly forward of hips, and exhale, release. Inhale, draw back in. Exhale, release. 3 more. Where does attention go as you move in and out? Last time in, come to hold, and then watch again. What does attention do as you come into the hold? Feet grounded, legs engaged, arms drawing back. Full breaths for 4 more. Take your time. When done, let the legs straighten, let the arm release. Hands to hips. Right hip draws back, long spine. Pull the leg muscles to bone and exhale, move toward a half lift. Or maybe a little further, or maybe a little less. What does the body ask for? Comfortable inhale, full exhale for 4 more breaths. When it's time to come out, bend that front knee to get more leverage through the feet. Inhale, press all the way up. When up, bending the right knee again to glide the left foot up and let yourself march in place a little bit. We're going to move through a sun salutation with the intention of working into some lunges. So let's start with hands at prayer. We'll begin with the back bend. So with the inhaling breath, arms rise up. We add a little back bend. Knees soften as we exhale, bringing hands all the way to the floor or onto blocks. From here, step the right foot back into a runner's lunge, and you adjust that front foot so the knee lands over the ankle. And if it's too much to hold here, you can always use fists and blocks or blocks. You can bring the right knee down as well. That's an option. So if you have the knee off the floor, press through the heel, and from either position, exhale, let the hips sink low. And inhale, pulse the hips up. And exhale, let the hips come low. Inhale, lift the hips up. And let's come low and hold low. So if the left foot is forward, really ground deeply through the right hand and sweep the left arm forward and up. And hold, and if this feels too much, just take that hand back down for 3 more. Nice full breath, stay 2. Give it another breath. When done, the hand comes down, floor or block. Forward foot steps back to plank pose. Firm the belly in plank. Back of thighs lift to sky. Press through heels. Hang on for 3 more breaths. And hang on for 2 more breaths. When done, yogi push up, let the knees drop down. Bend the elbows, chest and chin down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, directly to down dog or table to down dog. Nice full breaths for 3 more. In down dog. Stay in 2 more. When done, ragdoll, feet to hands. Knees bend a lot. And on the inhale, sweep it all the way up, stretch up, little back bend. And then exhale, arms down, hands to heart. And then we'll complete the salutation with a hold on the opposite lunge. So when ready, inhale, sweep up, little back bend. Knees bend a lot, hinge forward, bring hands to floor. Inhale, left foot goes back for the lunge. Adjust the feet to find the right alignment for you. Maybe the knee comes down. And on the exhale, sink into the hips. Inhale, pulse the hips up. Take your time, exhale, sink. Inhale, pulse up. 3 more times. Do it your way. Knee on or off the floor. Or off blocks. I'm starting to really prefer blocks these days. And the last time in is the hold. Draw the sternum away from the navel. If the right foot is forward, left hand down, right arm up, reach up, stretch up, and breathe for 4 breaths. Pushing through the heel if the leg is off the floor, stay 3. Best you can, 2 more. When done, let's all get both hands firm on the floor. Forward foot stepping back to plank pose. Firm the belly in plank, draw the shoulders back. Give it 4. Nice full breath, stay 3. 2 more. In your time, yogi push up, bend the knees, bend the arms, chest and chin down. Inhale, up dog. And again, exhale, table to down dog, or press it right back to down dog. Once you get to down dog, maybe pedal the feet a little bit, but eventually reach into your full expression. Stay 3 breaths. And when those breaths are done, again, feet to hands, hands to shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Ground and sweep up, stretch up, add a little back bend, and then hands draw to heart in prayer position, Samastiti, balance pose. Feel the beat of your heart, the quality of your breath, and utilize these experiences as a means of reconnecting over and over again with this moment. Let's turn and face the long edge of the mat. Feet nice and wide. I'm going to do side angle pose with a little bit of motion. So spinning right heel to face arch of left and left toes a little pigeon-toed. Once your feet are aligned, let the right knee bend. Align it as well as you can above the ankle. Just don't let it go forward of the ankle. And then we're going to lean on the right thigh, either with the forearm or with the hand. We want to get a sense as we're leaning though, that the spine is still nice and long. We're not collapsing in, but we're drawing this right, the best cue I have is drawing the right armpit away from the right hip, so we're not collapsed in the right body. Once you have that set up, raise the left arm up, look at your left fingers, we're going to circle. On the exhale, watch those fingertips as you circle the arm down, pointing to the floor. Keep grounding through the feet, watching the fingertips, bringing the arm up. We're going to go around in that way 2 more times. I'm just adjusting my window shades here. I wasn't anticipating sun. What a little gift that is. Now, the 3rd time that your arm rises up to the sky, that's going to become your hold. Now, option A is to hold with the arm in this position, or you can start to lower the arm down close to the side of the head like you were drawing a straight line from your left fingers to the edge of your left foot. Keep grounding both feet, hugging leg muscles to bone. And we've got it for 3 more breaths. And 2. We're going to rise into warrior 2. So when done, draw up with the left arm, draw up, align the shoulders over the hips. Gaze right, shoulders soften. Breath is full for 4. And stay 3. 2 more. When done, please straighten the leg, release the arms, and let's spin the right toes forward. So both feet are pointing forward for now, hands back to the heart. Half salute, inhale, sweep up. Engage the legs, swan dive fold. Halfway lift on inhale. Exhale, fold. Ground the feet, arms like wings. Inhale, pick it all the way up, stretch tall, look up, join palms. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment, take a breath. And together we'll set up for side angle, other side. Sometimes in that forward fold, the feet can separate a bit, so don't hesitate to shorten your stance up as you spin left heel to face right arch. And on an exhaling breath, left knee will bend over the ankle and you find some ground, some sense of rootedness through the legs. And either the left hand or left forearm come onto that left thigh, and we draw the left armpit away from the hip. So we're long in both sides of the trunk. Right arm goes up, look up, and we'll circle. Watch your right fingertips. Exhale, circle down. Feel this through the rib cage. How amazing it is that we can do these kind of rotational movements. And the third time the arm rises, that becomes the hold. That right rib cage is rolling back, and you choose to either keep the arm overhead or lower the arm toward the side of the head. Ground both feet, engage both legs. And how do you stay present in this? Notice how some degree of attention is needed to sustain balance. How breath helps to bring a sense of harmony into the pose. 3 more if you can. We'll follow it with warrior 2. So when done, arm rises and pulls up. And we're adjusting the shoulders over the hips. Left knees over the ankle. Drishti is over left fingers. And we allow the shoulders to melt deeply into our back pockets. And I am here now, present. It's not about liking it or disliking it. It's not about doing well at it or being challenged by it. It's just about being with it. For 3 more. And stay 2. When you're done, as you release the arms, straighten the knee, spin left toes forward. Turn to face toward the front of your mat, stepping the back foot in, coming back to Samasthiti, prayer position at the front of your mat. Adjust the feet so you really feel them beneath you. Raise the toes. Ground the balls of the feet and heels. Press palms together, elbows out. And see if you can grow a 1/4 inch taller. Relax the jaw. And find your place right here. Simply standing. Find that sense of inner stability. A place of unencumbered joy. Just wanting to be acknowledged. I am here. Joy jumps up and down. I am here too. And we start with the inhale, sweeping the arms up, bending knees, forward fold. Halfway up on in-breath. Exhale, bend the knees a lot, hands to floor. Step it back to table pose. And from table, sink it back into child. Breath moving into the back body. Maybe a sigh, deep inhale, exhale, let it all go. And from here, I welcome you all to transition onto your back. Knees bent, feet on the ground. Upper arms snuggle in close to the sides of the body. Arms are bent. And the palms of the hands are facing each other. Adjust the feet for optimal sense of leverage or capacity to place your weight on the feet. So traditionally it's ankles beneath the knees, but it might be slightly off of that for you. And sinking into both feet equally. So can you sink without lifting? Sink into both feet equally without lifting and release that. Sink into both feet equally and release that. Notice the felt difference here. Sink into one foot and release that. Sink into the other foot and release that. Now sink into both feet and release. And this time sink into both feet and raise the whole spine. Find breath, lift toes, sink into shoulders, forearms. Equally sinking into the arms as the feet and hold. Full breaths for 4. I'm not counting, count for yourself. Stay connected. When your last breath here is done, use the exhale to lower the bridge. Before doing anything, just soften once the spine is down. And on inhale, you can arch your back. Exhale, flatten. And then release the spine to neutral. Bring one knee and then the other into the chest. Wrap the hands, the arms around the knees. Hug the knees in close. And from here, final twist, arms to T position. Exhaling, knees right, head left. Any variation can be used, displacing hips, knee down, twist. And once you establish your pose, adjust and soften. Begin to follow breath. Come into the potentiality of trusting fully this present moment. Simply because this is what is present now. Every exhale softening. 4 more breaths on this side. When done, inhale everything to center. If you displaced, realign. And eventually, in your time, same asana, opposite side. Breathe, soften. Slip behind thoughts into that space of vast open awareness. Into that which is conscious. And 3 more breaths on this side. Whenever you're complete, inhale it all to center. Hug the knees in center. And then set yourself up for Shavasana. Grabbing additional clothing or blankets. Whatever it is you need. Maybe that bolster you made goes underneath the knees, or you undo it a bit for a neck roll underneath the head. Just really do it up. Get yourself comfortable. And then inhale, I am here. And exhale now. Movement complete. As we move into the practice of Shavasana. Classically, Shavasana is a practice of deep physical relaxation. Classically, the mind remains alert in that space of awareness, of witness, of consciousness. So we watch the feet and legs soften. We witness the buttocks, hips, pelvis relaxing. We experience the release of the belly, chest, and back. We welcome the shoulders to settle as the arms, hands, and fingers release. We notice as we surrender any tension in the neck and throat, face, and head. We're just conscious of the body-mind capacity to let go. Watching, noticing what happens at the level of body and mind as you consciously invite yourself to release, to soften, and to let go. Let go and let go and let go.
Allow the breath to deepen, stretch and move the body. And if you'd like, remain resting or rise to a comfortable seated posture with your eyes closed. Continue again with a brief reading from this chapter on trust in Jon Kabat-Zinn's book, Kabat-Zinn's book, Wherever You Go, There You Are. Trust is a feeling of confidence or conviction that things can unfold within a dependable framework that embodies order and integrity. We may not always understand what is happening to us or to another, or what is occurring in a particular situation. But if we trust ourselves or another, or we place our trust in a process or an ideal, we can find a powerful stabilizing element embracing security, balance, and openness within the trusting, which is in some way, if not based on naivety, intuitively guides us and protects us from harm or self-destruction. That trust, within trust, we can find a powerful stabilizing element that embraces security, balance, and openness. Sense of trust that can intuitively guide us and protect us from harm or self-destruction.